Hi there, I'm Victoria Will. I am a portrait advertising editorial photographer, and I'd like to thank the Fairfield Museum for having me and having my work. Really appreciate all the things that you've done. This exhibition was supposed to happen in March, and Lori and everyone at the museum has been really wonderful in pivoting and adjusting and trying to make this happen, and we're really thrilled that it's finally working out. My interest in photography came young. I always had a passion for it. However, having a career in photography and having a passion for it don't always intersect. So that was the tricky part for me, was figuring out how to make a career out of my passion. So I went into journalism, and I was a photographer at the New York Post. That I actually started as an intern, and then I never left. I started really doing a lot of portraiture, mostly magazines, newspapers, places like the Associated Press, and they hired me to go to Sundance. It's all of the casts of the movies come to your studio, and then they leave and they go to another studio. So it's a little bit like Groundhog Day for them and for the photographer. It's just different casts, 15-minute increments. They just keep coming in. And every year I tried to come up with something different. I was introduced to a tintype, what a tintype was, and immediately I knew that it would work in that environment. So there's a lot of parameters you have to work with at a film festival. I have to be able to take the pictures and deliver them that evening in a very sort of dumbed down way. It's a wet plate process from the 19th century, and you take a piece of metal, you coat it with a chemistry called collodion, and at that point you put it in a silver nitrate bath that makes it light sensitive. So you're essentially making a piece of metal a sheet of film. I knew that it would be an undertaking, but I also knew that it would be sort of a high risk, high reward situation where if it worked out, it would be pretty magical. The Sundance is, of course, it's a festival full of artists, directors, a lot of creators and artistic collaborators. So I thought they would be really interested in the process. Interesting is that I actually put on Instagram the process of some of the things that we were doing. A photo editor at Esquire magazine saw it, and she then contacted us. She put the tintypes out on a link on Esquire, and that's really how people got to know them. I was actually quite nervous to shoot Robert Redford. When you're at Sundance, you're a guest at his house. It's his party, it's his event. So when he came in, I definitely was nervous. I spent about 2 minutes with him. I immediately shot one plate because I just wanted to have it. I wanted to have Robert Redford's face on silver. So I actually ended up going back to Sundance for a second year. That year I brought tintype experts to help me in the darkroom so that I could really dial in the process, and the great folks, Jeffrey Berliner and Jolene Lupo from the Penumbra Foundation, were pivotal in helping with that process. So I really always need to give them a big shout out. Well, I think it's really important to always shoot. And you hear that advice a lot, and I have to say I didn't always follow that advice, to be honest. And I see the error in my ways. And I say that because a lot of people will have great ideas, brilliant ideas, and then they tomorrow their life away. I'm just so thrilled that this exhibition is happening, but actually I'm really excited about it being outdoors. I think that's such a fun and novel idea, particularly with what's going on. But I'm loving seeing the photos so large, because of course a tintype I was shooting them 4x5, so to see them at this scale, that's a thrill, and I'm just honored to be asked and thrilled to share my work with everybody.